We're talking about group of populations. Okay? So these populations, they belong to one population, belongs to one species. So if you have two species interacting together, we can call that community. Okay? We often use the term biological community. This is to differentiate it from community pagdating sa social sciences. Kasi sa social sciences, when you say community, this refers to human populations sharing the same values, belief, pero again, sa ecology, when we talk about community, we're dealing not only of humans, pero of different species, whether flora or fauna species. Okay? Now, these species, they interact together. Okay? At this interaction would involve various processes. So, pwede siyang positive interaction, pwedeng negative interaction, or even neutral interaction. Now, species interaction shows how one population influences individuals of the other population. Okay? So, paano siya nag-influence? One, by influencing population dynamics. So, one population can cause changes in the population of the other. In terms of what? In terms, say, of growth ng population, pwedeng with the action of one species, the population of the other species may decline or may increase depending on the interaction. Pangalawa, they are agents of natural selection. Okay? When species interact, this may result to natural selection. Ano yung natural selection? It pertains to survival and reproduction of species depending on their physical traits. Okay? Naka-share ba ito sa canvas? Hindi pa. Yan. And then, also, it influences species niche. Again, when we say niche, it pertains to the functional role of the organism in the ecosystem or in a community. Okay? So, paano yan? Example number one, this may influence population dynamics. So, in this figure, you would see predator population size and the death rate of prey species. So, when you graph that, makikita nyo linear ang relationship. Ibig sabihin, when you increase the population size of the predator, you also increase the mortality of the prey. Siyempre, the predator will eat the prey. So, mathematically, graphically speaking, this should be the graph, the relationship. And again, that is species interaction influencing population dynamics. Likewise, this is prey population size. This is the birth rate of predator. So makikita nyo, as you increase the birth rate of the predator, you also increase the population size. Habang tumataas yung population ng prey, tataas din yung birth rate ng predator. Siyempre, maraming pagkain, marami silang mag-reproduce. Okay? So, linear ang relationship nila. Okay? Directly proportional ang relationship nila. As you increase the population of the prey, you also increase the birth rate. Again, species interaction affecting population dynamics. Okay? So when you include the carrying capacity of species 1, yan, this pertains to the combination of the species 1 and species 2 population. So, kunwari ang carrying capacity is 1,000. If you have 1,000 population size ng species 1, dapat ang species 2 ay 0. If you have 750 population ng species 1, dapat ang species 2 ay 250. If the carrying capacity is 1,000. Again, Because of species interaction, population dynamics may be affected. Aside from that, species interaction are agents of natural selection. How do we define natural selection? Sabi ko nga, it pertains to the survival and reproduction of a population because of traits. The traits should be favorable for you to be able to survive in a given environmental condition. So if you are not fit to survive, you will be removed from the community. Okay? Parang itong biology. Parang konti na konti. Except isang section na lang kayo. Dalawang isang section na lang kayo. Dalawang section pa lang kayo ngayon. Pero next sem, I think, mag-iisang section kayo next sem. So, kung friendly yung nasa isang section, well and good. Kung hindi, we have to deal with it. Social animals naman tayo. Okay? And this natural selection results in modification of traits within a line of descent. Ito lang ko sinasabi, Charles Darwin, when he wrote the paper on the origin of species by means of natural selection, noong 1859, ang ginamit ng term is not evolution. He used the term descent with modification. Ang sinasabi ni Charles Darwin dito, that as organisms survive and reproduce, ang nangyayari, that traits are being modified so that it is favorable for that particular environment. Okay? So when we talk about natural selection, may tatlong modes of natural selection. It may be directional, stabilizing, or disruptive. Pag sinabi natin directional, allele frequencies are responsible for range of phenotypic variation shift in a consistent direction. What do you mean by allele? Anyone? Allele. Wala pa kasi kayo genetics. Allele pertains to the form of a gene. It's a gene form. Okay? So, ang sinasabi dito sa directional selection, there is a shift in that trait. Okay? That trait should be favorable. For example, if you have here an initial graph ng population size ng isang species. Dati, ganyan ang population size niya, na curve. Okay? Pero, because of the environment, kunwari we're dealing with a phenotype. By the way, what is a phenotype? Pertains to physical traits, physical characteristic. Matangkad, maputi, kulot ang buhok, straight ang hair, color ng ang eyes. These are all physical traits. Okay? Now, if we're dealing with size as a phenotype, pwede, for example, yung organism that shift from this range of size at naging ganito. And that is considered as directional selection. Sa stabilizing selection, ang fina-favor ay hindi yung nasa dulo, kundi yung nasa gitna, na range ng trait. Ang disruptive selection, when the phenotypic characters that are favored ay yung nasa extreme at hindi yung nasa gitna. Guess what? If this is the distribution of the population, pag sinabi natin directional, there is a shift from this trait papunta dito sa right side. Okay? Pag sinabi natin stabilizing selection, ang favored ay yung nasa gitna. The one on the ends yung mga individuals on the ends are not being favored. Tumawala sila sa system kasi yung trait na yon hindi favorable sa given condition, environmental condition. And then sa disruptive, baliktad naman. The one that's being favored ay yung nasa gitna. Ay rather, yung nasa extreme. Yung nasa gitna hindi favored. So you have this type of graph. Okay? Now, this is an example of directional selection. This is a study about swallow. It's a type of bird. Nakita nila that yung body size class nito per time ay nagkaroon ng shift from a median of about 6, 7 na body size class, mas lumaki yung mga body size na favorable for that condition. Anong possible reason for this? Can you hypothesize? Bakit nagkakaroon ng shift sa weight or sa body size ng mga birds? We haven't seen the research paper. Pero ano ang possible when you hypothesize for this? Ano? Okay, adaptation sa environment. Particularly, you can give me specific scenario na favorable ang large sizes compared sa small sizes. Yes?
Possibly, siguro na may slightly colder yung environment nila, so they grew a bit larger so they can store more energy.
Okay, that's one hypothesis. Pwede. Ano pa? What else? Oh, yan ang hirap pag ano, yan, holy hour eh. Yan sabi ko kay Dr. Ariola, yung mga estudyante ko, tinatanong ko parang sinacking lang sila sa akin. Kanina, ganun din yung mga B. Kaya ko sinasabi, di ba, effective communication, body language, not vocal. Kahit wala kayong sabihin, kung ganyan-ganyan kayo sa klase mo. Inawag na yung pangalan mo, natulog ka pa. Body language, bigla kang nag-slouch ng ganyan. Oh. We have this professor in physics. Pwede ko na siya ikwento, nag-retire na yan siya. Hindi si Professor Rosit or si Professor Nolasco. Sa kanya, sa klase, ganyan lang. Yung classmate ko, gumanyan. Siguro naantok siya. Gumanyan siya. Nakikigising naman siya. Gumanyan siya. Ganito lang talaga yung prof na. Tapos yung cum laude namin, nag-resign siya sa board. Sa physics, puro mga problem set. Tapos may board work. Mga prof namin na may ibang way of terrorizing students. Ibigay ng chalk. Tapos pag sinabi niya ng stop, yun yung magdi-discuss ng problem sa board. Napasa-pasa niya yung chalk. Habang binabas, stop. Kung hawak mo yung chalk, ikaw mag-. Buti na lang yung cum laude namin nakahawak. Nadi-discuss siya. Ginawa nung cum laude namin gumanyan. Nakurementado yung. Kaya kahit sa simple gesture ako gumanyan. Bakit mo ako pinapamewangan? Yung nabandera ko, hindi ako pinapamewangan. Ano siya? Remember, ano ginawa niya? A simple gesture of putting hands sa hip. Naghurementado yung kaya lang, wala na siya. Kung hindi kawawa kayo, may ganun ba? I'm just saying. Ano possible? In terms of species interaction, kasi sabi natin, species interaction drives natural selection. They are agents of natural selection. Possible hypothesis dito, kung meron kang predator feeding on this type of birds, pag maliit ka, you're being preyed upon. So, ang tendency niyan, yung mga susunod na generation should develop greater body size class para hindi yan sila maubos. Diba? Kundi ma-eliminate ang kanilang lahi sa ecosystem, sa community. Okay? Again, interaction, species interaction. This is also directional selection. When there is a shift sa build depth. Okay? So, habang tumataas yung, lumalaki yung peak, tumataas din yung survival ng organism. So, through time, ang tendency, ang mapapavor ay yung mas malalaki ang yield. An example nito, pwedeng yung food items para lang sa malalaki ang peak. So, ang tendency, susunod na generation will develop larger peaks. Peaks and bill are the same. Okay? This is a classic example and a classic experiment done. They check for, alam niyo itong kwentong to? Doon sa probinsya ni Dr. Arriola sa Inglaterra, nag-aaral ng peppered moth. Probinsya ni Paxel. Nag-aaral ng peppered moth. Kita nila sa Inglaterra, merong dark colored peppered moth at may white colored peppered moth. Okay? Tapos nangyari ang industrialization, sabi sa STS. Ano ang kondisyon ng industrialization? Kailan nangyari ang industrialization? 1700, 1750s. Pataas. Okay? Saan siya unang nangyari? Hindi sa US. Saan? Sa Europe. Sa France. Sa Germany. Yes.
UK po.
Sa UK. Yan. Yung mga cities na yan. Now, during industrialization, anong condition during that time? Environmental condition. Yes.
Large amounts of pollutants.
Correct.
Smog.
Correct. Dahil nagtayo ng madaming industries, mahirap doon magtrabaho kasi overwork ka. Tapos exposed ka sa hazards dahil wala namang mga pollution agency during that time. So mataas ang air pollutants. Ngayon, that time, sa Inglaterra, the bark of the trees become dark in color. Kasi nga, ang taas ng air pollutants. Yung puno, yung mga trunk ng puno, naging itim. Now, if you have two species of peppered moth, sino ang makakapag-camouflage? Yung light colored or yung dark colored? Dark colored. The problem is, may insectivorous birds feeding on peppered moth. So, magbibigay ng contrast dyan yung light colored peppered moth. So, these are easily being preyed upon by insectivorous birds. So, through time, what will happen? This will be favored, this will be removed. And that is a typical example of natural selection. If you are not fit to survive, you will be eliminated from the system. So, Kung i-graph mo yan, if this is color, light color, dark color, there will be a shift in the trait. Mas favored yung darker ones compared to lighter ones. And that is directional selection. Okay? Pagdating nyo ng evolutionary biology, mas malalim ang gagawin yung mga exercises dyan. Alright? So, yan ay directional. Sa stabilizing naman, ang sabi natin, favored ang nasa gitna compared sa nasa extremes. This is a typical example of stabilizing selection, natural selection. This is birth weight, this is percentage of newborn population. Sino may alam na kanyang birth weight ng newborn paglabas? Noy, alam mo, ang birth weight mo. Wala mo lang kinikwento yung mga magulang nyo? Alcover, alam mo kung anong birth weight mo nung ikaw ay pinanganak?
20 yata.
Ha?
20 yata.
20, hindi pwedeng 20.
Basta
May kumakain ka na ng burger.
Basta daw sir, malaki daw nung ano
Hindi
siya.
pwedeng
Ano ko
20.
siya.
Pwedeng 20.
Basta
Wala ka dito pag 20.
Basta malaki.
Sino may alam na kanyang birth weight? Ano birth weight? 8 pounds. Okay?
Nakalimutan ko.
Sino pa? Wala na may alam.
Basta malaki daw.
Pag uwi nyo ka sa mga bahay nyo, kung sabi nyo mga magulang nyo, ano kung may birth weight? Premature ba?
Nakalimutan ko lang sa akin.
Di ba? Pag premature, maliliit lang. So birth weight is mababa. Pag mababa, anong ginagawa pag premature? Hindi ka muna papauwiin kasama ng iyong magulang, ng iyong nanay. Maiwan ka sa ospital. Bakit? Incubate ka sa ospital. Isisimulate yung parang nasa loob ka pa ng womb. So mag-grow ka pa muna. Aabot ka dun sa proper weight bago ka i-discharge.
Then we get on there.
Ha? Say, ano sabi niya? 8. Sino pa? 11? Ano ba ba?
Nakalimutan ko sa akin.
Tapos tong 7.2 sa akin. Usually within that range. 6 to about 8 point something. Bakit? Pag sobrang mababa, the risk of survival is very high. Mataas ang mortality pag masyadong mababa ang birth weight. Pag masyadong mataas, mataas din ang mortality. So it's hindi pwedeng sobrang extremes. Siyempre, mahirap ilabas ang baby na 20 pounds or more. Sabi ko sa akin yung Johnson. Favorite ko to si Johnson eh. Every batch may favorite akong estudyante. Sa batch nyo si Johnson ang favorite.
Palagi ito.
Mahirap maging favorite kasi gusto mo lagi nakikita, di ba? Every sem gusto mo siya lagi nakikita. Diba? You don't want to be my favorite. May sabihin ko, favorite kita, next sem ulit, ha? Hindi, si Johnson, kami estudyante ko yan sa NYSI, kaya kilala ko yan sila ni Tristan. At the same, ano ba yan? At muna the same statement, huwag kang natutulog sa klase ko. Nung NYSI, natutulog din siya sa klase ko. Dalawa lang silang bio doon, sabi ko, bio majors kayo? Hanggang nag-ecology, natutulog pa rin sa klase. Wag puro online games at puro gadgets. Para kung magulang, naka-cellphone yan eh. Yan na, ano ninyo ha? Kakaling ko yung Johnson sa yung ilan. And this shows stabilizing selection. favoring the one at the middle, the range of a phenotypic trait. And this is disruptive. Kabaliktaran sa stabilizing, sa disruptive naman, ang favored are those at the extremes. Okay? For example, itong mga Galapagos finches. Alam niyo itong Galapagos finches? Si Pareng Darwin, diba, siya ay nag-beagle voyage, nasyal-nasyal. Isa sa pinuntahan niya yung Galapagos Islands na probinsya ni Professor Casas. Nung pumunta siya sa Galapagos Islands, chinek niya yung mga sizes ng mga beaks ng mga finches. Ang sabi niya, bakit dito sa isang isla na to, itong Galapagos finches, they have extreme trait ng laki ng beak. May maliliit, tsaka may malalaki, walang medium size. And that is disruptive selection, favoring the one at the extreme range of phenotypic character. Okay? Anong possible reason for this? Sige nga. Yes. Okay. Okay. One is available food. That's a good hypothesis. And that is correct. Isa yun sa my explanation of Darwin. Yes.
Another is possibly competition with other species that have the same niche, so they are forced to find another niche.
Okay, that's correct. The reason behind this is competition. Itong mga Galapagos finches, tendency, they compete with the same or yung same food resource. So ang tendency, para walang competition, they tend to develop different size ng beaks. Okay? Again, species interaction causing natural selection. Now, talk about niche. Sinabi ito ni Kabir. No? Sabi ng niche, this pertains to the range of resources or environmental conditions that supports a certain species. Okay? Ang definition ko dyan, that's the functional role of the species sa community. Ano bang role niya? Key predator ba siya? Keystone species? Decomposer ba siya? Yan. So this niche may be classified into many ways, one of which is spatial. Aning spatial niche pertaining to the space, habitat it occupies. So habitat may be part of the niche. Okay? In relation to spatial niche. Spatial yan na, dati ang pronunciation ko dyan ay spatial. Spatial yan kasi space. We're talking about the area. Okay? Hindi yan parang may ice cream sa ibabaw ng halo-halo, kaya siya spatial. Special yun. Trophic. What do you mean by trophic? Trophic niche. Sinabi natin trophic. It deals with feeding levels. It deals with food chain. Ano ba yung kanyang feeding level? Producer, consumer, secondary consumer, primary consumer. Ayan. Fundamental and realized. Ano ibig sabihin yan? Fundamental niche pertains to the range of resources that it can utilize and can exploit. Kunwari, ikaw ay isang organism, you can eat species 1 to 6. Okay? Pero yung realized niche mo lang ay you are feeding on species 1, 2, and 3. Okay? But your fundamental niche maybe to species 6, kaya mo kainin hanggang species 6. Pero because of competition and other interactions, kailangan ang kakainin mo lang ay species 1, 2, and 3. Okay? So that's the difference between fundamental niche and realized niche. Alright? Also, we have the term guilds. Guilds are a group of species with comparable niche. So when you compare their niche, pwede yan tawagin mga guilds. If they are considered primary consumers in both aquatic and terrestrial environments, guilds ang tawag. So niche, graphically, you can present it like this, two-dimensional. So ang niche, pwede siyang resource, pwede siyang environmental condition. Dito sa 2 dimension, you only consider 2 environmental conditions, salinity and temperature. Pwede rin siyang 3-dimensional. You consider another environmental condition, in this case pH. So you would have a niche that is 3-dimensional. Graphically din, pwede siyang ganito. If you have species A and species B, at walang interaction sa dalawa, they can coexist. There is no overlap ng kanilang niches. They can coexist. Paano pag may overlap? There would be competition. Okay? So pag may competition, what will happen? They can specialize para walang competition na mangyari. So they would prevent this overlap. So through time, pwedeng they become specialists para they would have separate niches. So they can coexist. What if the overlap is too large? Magkakaroon ka ng competitive exclusion. Ibig sabihin, sa competitive exclusion, one species will have to be removed from the community. Hindi pwedeng parehas kayo mag-exist. Okay? I'll show you one example later. Or, you may have total exclusion. Ang total exclusion, when, for example, one species, yung niche niya ay nandun sa loob ng isang species. So this one has a very large niche. The species E has a very small niche. Ang tendency, pwede magkaroon ng total exclusion. Pwede matanggal to because it would be swamped, overwhelmed by the niche of the species A. Okay? So let's discuss these 4 types of species interaction. First, you have neutralism. Ang neutralism ay 0 at 0. By the way, species ha, walang magsasabi sa inyo ng species. Walang ganun po. Species 1 at 2, 0 ang kanilang interaction. So, ibig sabihin, neither population affects the other. So, kapag nag-join sila, parehas sila nakita sa isang habitat, wala silang interaction. Hindi beneficial, hindi harmful ang interaction. Okay? That is neutralism. Competition, when there is direct inhibition. One species inhibits the other species. So when they interact, they compete. Okay? Amensalism is one species is inhibited, the other one is not affected. So kahit magsama sila, yung isa not affected by the presence of the other. However, that species is negatively affected by the other species. Commensalism this is the first part na nagkaroon ng positive interaction one species benefits from the interaction, the other one is not affected. Let's take a look at some examples. The shag and cormorant. Itong shag at cormorant, this is cormorant. They are found sa Europe. When they come together, they feed on different resources. So walang competition, hindi rin beneficial na magsama sila. So that is neutralism. Other one, deer and rabbits, they are found in forest ecosystem, pero they do not affect each other. So hindi detrimental ang presence ng rabbit sa deer, hindi rin detrimental ang presence ng deer sa rabbit. Hindi rin siya beneficial. Neutralism. Amensalism is negative and zero. One species is inhibited, the other one is not affected. This is also called asymmetric competition. Example niyan, tall plants at saka small plants. Pag meron kang mataas na puno, walang kwenta sa kanya yung interaction with small plant species. Okay? Pero the small plant species are negatively affected. Okay? Why? Sunlight. Correct. So sunlight ay mas nakukuha ng mga tall species. Pero in terms of their interaction, the tall species are not affected and the small species are negatively affected. Right? Next, you have competition. So sa competition, you have two types, intraspecific competition or interspecific competition. Ano ibig sabihin ng intraspecific? Ibig sabihin, you are referring to the same species. Okay? Individuals of the same species. Ang interspecific competition, pwedeng two or more species. Okay? Example, or two types of interspecific competition. It may be exploitation or interference. Ano yung exploitation? This is indirect type of competition. What do you mean by indirect? Ibig sabihin, they are not physically competing or competing on a resource, pero pwedeng indirect yung kanilang competition through resource availability. Paano yan? For example, meron kang dalawang mammals. Sabihin natin herbivores. Yung herbivores na itong dalawa, herbivore 1 at saka herbivore 2. Yung herbivore 1, pumunta dun sa isang grassland, inubos niya lahat ng vegetation. Pagdating ng herbivore 2, wala nang makakain. So that is considered exploitation. Why? There is no direct competition, pero because of the availability of resource, na wala na for the herbivore 2, that is considered exploitation. Indirect competition. Ano yung interference? Ang interference, you are physically competing for resource or for the habitat. You would know that, di ba? May mga vertebrates that would have this type of behavior. They tend to have territoriality, di ba? Kahit mga dogs, pag mayroong mga malapit na dogs malapit sa area, although that is considered as intraspecific, pero say for example, another type of canine na mammal na pumunta dun sa isang area ng dog, tendency they would fight for that particular habitat. Okay? That is type of direct competition. Okay? So, this is an example of intraspecific. Ang intraspecific, ibig sabihin natin, same species. Pero, individuals ng same species. Example, this is a study about S. mutans or Gastrum mutans. It's a type of grass. Yung Sargassum mutans, pag konti lang yung mga individuals sa Sargassum mutans, mababa yung density. What do you mean by density? Sabi sa population ecology, it pertains to anyone. Sabi kayo.
Tama.
Anong density ulit? Hello? Hi. Yes, please.
Sarami po na specimen.
Ano na?
Sarami po na specimen.
Dami ng specimen. Okay. Okay. Yes.
Number of individuals per
Yan. Dami ng specimen sa isang area. So, pag konti ang individual sa isang area, if you are increasing your soil nitrogen, pag low density, wala masyadong competition, correct? Ang tendency ng biomass is to increase. What do you mean by biomass? Biomass pertains to living weight. Ganyan. Okay? So the biomass of the individuals will increase as you increase the soil nitrogen. Pero dapat low density. Konti lang yung mga individuals sa isang area. Kasi pag nagkaroon ng high density, the tendency of the biomass is to become small. Kahit na dagdagan mo yung nitrogen. Why? Nitrogen is the soil nutrient nila. So dapat, pag may plant ka, may soil nutrient, mas mataas ang biomass. Pero hindi yan totoo pag madami or mataas ang density. Dahil sa intra-specific competition. Individuals of same species, Sargassum mutans, will compete for that particular soil nutrient. Ano pa yung mga effects ng intra-specific competition? One is it affects growth and development. For example, itong Trifolium repens, they would compete. Ito ay bush type. Pag masyado yan madami, they would compete for the nutrients and space. It will affect the growth and development of the individuals. It will also influence mortality rates. So tataas ang mortality rates pag merong intra-specific competition. For example, itong erigueron, it's type of horseweed. This would cause high mortality rate pag mataas ang intra-specific competition. Another is reduction ng reproduction. Sa mga harp seals, mas konti ang nare-reproduce pag merong intra-specific competition. So sobrang dami na nila, pwedeng mas konti ang pinaproduce na offspring because of intra-specific competition. This is typhus species, pero we are referring to interspecific. Okay? Sa interspecific competition, we are dealing with 2 or more species. So they compete for a resource. In this case, they are competing for space, for the area. Okay? Ano itong typha or cattail? They are aquatic plants. So usually they are thriving sa littoral zone ng mga rivers and ponds. Yan. So they may be found sa water depth ng mga about 60 centimeter. Okay, and slightly above the water table. May kita mo itong mga cattail species. Okay. So, pag walang competition, yung typha angustifolia, may be seen from the water depth of negative 20 hanggang sa malalim na 100 cm na depth. Meron siyang presence doon. Tapos yung latifolia, Typha latifolia, nandito siya sa water depth na negative 20 hanggang about 70 cm na water depth. Pero, pag nagkaroon ng interspecific competition, they compete for the resource, for that area, for that space. What happens? Yung Typha angustifolia will not extend up to negative 20 na water depth. Hanggang dito lang siya sa about 20 cm water depth. So, iiksi yung kanyang niche because of interspecific competition. Okay? And yung latifolia will occupy the usual negative 20 to about 70 cm na water depth. Okay? Nagkakaroon ng ganyan because of interspecific competition. Ano to? Exploitation or interference. Yan naman. Parang wala nakapasunod sa akin. Ano po yung type ng competition na yan? Exploitation or interference? Sama ko yun sa isang that is considered interference because they physically compete with the area, with the habitat. Hindi naman yan sino, dito ka muna, separate muna tayo, is another example of interspecific competition. Trivolume repens at saka frangifero. Ang frangifero mas mabilis tong dumami, pero mas malaki yung mga repens. So take note of this. Minsan meron silang space para hindi sila mag-compete in that particular space. Now, if the competition is too much, hindi na kaya ng dalawang species magsama, there would be competitive exclusion. So if two species with the same niche coexist in the same ecosystem, one will be excluded because of intense competition. This is an example. Paramecium. Nakita kayo ng paramecium sa micro? Hindi. Yan, gusto lang. Wala pang sumasakit. So maybe, ang tinuro natin dito, pag talaga nag-bio department, faculty meeting, hindi turo nung sa second year, hirap pa akong mag-ecology sa kanila. So, for example, this is a very classic experiment. They experimented on Paramecium caudatum and Paramecium aurelia. Okay? So yung Paramecium aurelia at Paramecium caudatum, if you grow them separately, for example, dalawang Erlenmeyer flask, ano mo, pinount ko yung kanilang dami, you would have this population growth curve. Okay? Ganyan, population, Paramecium aurelia is the blue, Paramecium caudatum is the red. However, pinagsama mo sila sa isang Erlenmeyer flask. Tinignan mo yung kanilang population size. This will become the graph. The Paramecium aurelia will persist and the Paramecium caudatum will be eliminated. Kaya meron pang tinatawag na competitive exclusion. Because of competition that is too intense, one species will be removed from the system. Okay? In this case, the paramecium caudatum will be removed and outcompeted by the paramecium aurelia. Okay? Isa din sa mga classic example ng competition ay inaral sa intertidal zone sa Scotland na probinsya din ni Dr. Ariola. Kwento niya sa akin na may isang scientist doon, si Connell, si Pareng Connell noong 1961, noong mga teenager pa kami, nag-aral siya ng mga barnacles. 2 species of barnacles were studied noong 1961 by Connell, yung Tamalus stellatus at saka Balanus glandola. Itong Tamalus stellatus, they're actually small barnacles. Ang barnacles, common to kasi yung mga nag-attach dun sa mga whales at saka sa mga marine turtles, diba? Tapos tinatanggal-tanggal pag di na sila makapag-swim ng maayos. Pero they're also found in the intertidal rocks. So yung Tamalus are small and they occupy the upper intertidal zone. Yung Balanus glandula ay larger and they occupy yung mababang intertidal zone, usually submerged. Okay? Now, problem is with the tide. Bakit? Ang tide, hindi yan stagnant. All throughout, hindi ganyan lang ang level niya. It will go higher or lower depending on the season and depending on the movement of the earth and the moon. Diba? Any tide, spring tide. So, pag mataas ang tide, ang tendency yung Balanus may occupy, may compete for the area of the Tamalus. Pag mababa naman yung tide, yung Tamalus may occupy the area of the Balanus. And again, that is competition for resource, particularly space. Right? Now, what are the impacts of competition? One is niche differentiation. Sinabi ko na to, pag mayroong overlap, ang tendency, the other species would occupy a different niche para mag-coexist sila. Okay? One is niche differentiation. Second one is character displacement. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. Yung mga Galapagos finches ni Darwin, nung inaral niya yan, this is Diospiza fortis and Fuliginosa, nakita niya itong dalawang to na mga species ng finches, they exist in Galapagos. Nung tinignan ni Darwin sa Los Hermanos, Fuliginosa is existing. At nakita niya yung beak depth, yung laki ng beak, would be around from 8 to 10. Pero ganun din sa fortis, Diospiza fortis, sa Daphne Island, about 8 to 10 din yung size ng beak. However, pagdating dun sa island na Santa Maria, nakita ni Darwin that the beak depth ay different because of competition. Because they do have the same character, the tendency when they are together, because of competition, one would occupy a smaller beak, the other one would have a smaller beak, the other one would have a larger beak, para walang overlap. And again, that is because of competition. Character displacement as competition impact. And then thirdly, and finally, you have resource partitioning. Ano itong resource partitioning? Inaral nila sa North America, itong mga warbler birds, hindi yan napitit. Yung nasa atin ay Eurasian sparrow, yung sobrang dami. These are warbler birds and they feed on spruce tree. They feed on what? On insects. Kain sila ng insects, pero particular na puno lang. So, ang nangyayari, because of competition impacts, itong warbler birds, they divide the spruce tree. Concave may dito ako sa tuktok. Ikaw may breasted dito ka sa gitna. ikaw na yellow rump warbler dito ka sa baba. Hindi tayo pwedeng isang level lang ng spruce tree. So because of competition, there is resource partitioning. Hati-hati sa resource. This is the actual result of one study of various warbler birds occupying specific areas of the spruce tree. Okay? So yung blackbird niya would be the top at saka sa side. Yung green warbler would be at the middle, upper middle. Yung naka-tip, bay-breasted would be lower middle. Yellow rump would be at the base. Again, resource partitioning has an impact of competition. Anong type ng competition? Interspecific or intraspecific? Interspecific competition. Exploitation or direct interference? Interference leading to resource partitioning. Okay? So next meeting we'll discuss the more positive kind of interaction. Alright? Questions? Next meeting din, ano next meeting? Meron kayong exam, di ba? By the way, sa exam yung next meeting na lecture, midterm exam, this will not be part of the exam kasi hindi siya kompleto na lecture. Pangalawa, I will be the one to give you the answer sheets. Zip grade answer sheets. Modified zip grade answer sheets. Anong modified? Your midterm lecture exam comprises of objective type of questions. So multiple choice, true or false, ganyan. Pangalawang part ay essay computation. So you have to bring your calculator at calculator, pen of course, for shading and for answer. Okay. Any questions before we have our break?